Hi and welcome to day 6, that's right, day 6 already, of your Largo Status Stage WindWorks free trial. Now, I have to say that most people will not have made it this far, so congratulations for staying on board over the next 2 days. Today, our lecture is Rockin Range and Resonance, and tomorrow is Coffee Moments WTF ? I'm sharing with you how this all came about and why. And the reason I'm only sort of touching on range today, and I'm not doing too much because, let's face it, I could have written a book, Eat M&Ms, Blue M&Ms to Double High C, or 1,000 push-ups a day for increased range, or whatever. I could come up with any kind of high note spectacular book, or how to just play high notes easily, and it would sell really well because people are just looking. Let's face it, the elephant in the room, we want to play higher. How much have I spoken about range in this entire course so far? Not very much. Obviously range is an important part of our playing as the course continues, and I get right into the nitty-gritty of it. But there's no point going down that path when we haven't got the fundamentals sorted out. We haven't laid the foundation for having that range, developing that range efficiently so it's actually useful. Now, we've all heard, and if you haven't, they're around, people that have come up with ways of playing high notes on the trumpet, but their trumpet playing isn't great. The fundamental technicals aren't usable often. So these people have high range but don't do gigs because they're not musical or the sound isn't quite right, yet they can squeak out high notes. Clearly, I'm not remotely interested in that, yet high notes are a selling point. I'm not remotely interested in going down that path. In fact, when I mention range, I feel like it's a gimmick. And you see it everywhere. You want to know how to play higher, and there's all these things out there that will teach you how to play higher effortlessly or easily. And look, some of them might work. We've all got different anatomies, and we've all got different minds. Some things work for some things don't work for the others. What we can agree on is if we squeeze our lips together, they're way too strong, so strong they can hold back all of the air. So that's one extreme. And of course, the Greek extreme is to get the lips right out of the way and use the air that we use in talking. That's just logical. So there's the other extreme. So from that extreme to that extreme, where does it all go wrong? I've said it before, I believe everyone can play whatever they wish on their instrument. Strangely enough, I haven't mentioned this in the course. I don't mind when people start their students off going, saying the M letter. M. But quite often, most of the time, in saying M, there's too much of a grip in the lip. However, what I would like to do is get you to go moo, moo, moo. And if I go ow, 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 moo, moo, ow, moo, ow, moo. The moo actually allows you to feel the aperture corners a little more. However, I do the ow, of course, because we want that horizontal movement inwards from the aperture corners. Horizontal inward movement of the aperture corners. So that's what the ow is about. Moo still gets the lip out of the way, so it still has the desired result. And sometimes when I struggle with a student to get them to get the jaw down and corners in, a statement I use a lot, jaw down, corners in, feels ridiculous. moo, ow, ow. Sometimes when I can't get the opening of creating the aperture, opening, remember, aperture means opening, then I'll go moo and get them, and quite often I'll get the opening there. And as I've discussed in detail, holding that position, getting the visualizer on, all of that stuff can be really confronting, and it feels different, and most people run away. Now, across tomorrow in the coffee moment, WTF, ? There is the Bob Reeves podcast, which I did in 2015, I think. And it was a year I did a lot of travel and teaching all over the world, basically. And it explains to you, it's in two parts. One's my career, one's my teaching. And once you hear part two, especially the rationale behind what all this is about, you'll understand why the course is structured the way that it is. And you cannot expect to have all of everything that needs to be learnt all in, even the Largo Status Stage or in the foundation level. There's too much. We've got to develop our professional playing from the beautiful fundamentals, and that's what the foundation level is about. It's actually like it's a pyramid effect. We unlock the negative tension in the playing, the manipulation in the playing, and the more we unlock in the lower register, the more the higher the range of your playing goes. And people are in a rush to get to exercises on the page that have got double C's written on them. There are 1,000 books out there. You turn the page, and all of a sudden you can't play it anymore because it goes too high. I've been there, I've done it, I know. Yeah, it's frustrating. So that's why the course is developed where it is. And I said in the previous video, what can you do? What can you kind of do? What can't you do? This is what it's all about. People don't recognise what they can do, let alone what they can kind of do. They know what they can't do because they keep trying and it never works. So to tie all that together, get your finger. We've agreed lips are too strong, so we've got to get the lips out of the way. I think we can agree. So let's put our finger in the way. Okay. Now, people will experience different sensations when they do this. As we're getting higher, we obviously want to loosen the lip off, and I want you to imagine that bottom lip rolling forward and heading towards the top lip. And everyone will do this differently. But what we don't want, in general terms, is that bottom lip rolling back over the bottom teeth, which is what happens to most people, and heads the air straight to your feet. I used to do it. I'm talking from experience. So if I can get you to imagine one, bottom lip forward towards the top lip, outwards, hence the ow, hence the moo. Finger is making aperture, opening, putting between the teeth, bite on your finger. Then I want you to notice the aperture corner's in, and really when you're doing it, try and squeeze in towards the inwards. So the appearance of the musculature is outwards, the drawstring thing. That's okay. Don't worry about that. We want the grip inwards. Bottom lip forward and up. In the ultimate level, I talk about air pivots and different people's ideas on what the air's doing. And it's pretty controversial. I don't mind. It's just my research that I'm sharing what I think. SPS, squeaky pedals. Sensation, psychology, science. Squeaky notes and high squeaky notes and pedal notes. It's really cool. All right, bottom lip forward and up, aperture corners in. Then, one thing that I do not really mention in the fundamental foundation level at all is tongue position. There's too much information to put in one place, and at the moment, with a good idea of what you want to sound like, you don't need to worry about the tongue position. As we start getting higher, the tongue changes position in the mouth. Now, people think that the changing of the tongue position is what stimulates the pitch change. That's incorrect, and do your research. It's all here in the course. I've explained it already. But what does happen, you can hear the pitch changing. There is resonance in the oral cavity. All you need to worry about in the foundation level and even the premium level, a great sound, and the tongue will, a very simple idea here is the lips, the aperture chooses the overtone, the pitch, and the tongue makes it sound nice. That's all I've kind of said through the first two levels, and in the ultimate stage I get right into tongue position for extreme altissimo register playing. But I'm just touching, making you aware of it now as a bit of an introduction. The tongue changes pitch, changes shape in the mouth to change the resonance. The instrument is preset. It has the overtones in it, and resonance is two mediums oscillating at the same frequency, i.e. instrument and body. So when we combine tongue position, aperture corner tension, getting that bottom lip out of the way and creating a smaller aperture, the pitch will change. Of course, I'm not getting into volume and all that stuff now. It's all been spoken about, and it's been spoken about in depth in the fundamental range of foundation level coming up. I want you just to walk around. Bite on your finger. Then, when you know you're not going to shut your jaw or close your lips, can you hold the teeth in the same position? Bottom lip rolled forward and out. Hence the Maggio chimp idea. Corners in and tongue position changing. We need to let go of the middle of the lip so we don't clamp down. We need to find the right shape of the aperture corners and the position of the tongue to get pure resonance all over the instrument. So the aperture corners change to select a higher and higher and higher and higher pitch. The tongue changes at the same time, and we don't want to pinch the middle of the lips. You want a rockin' resonant range, you work on this, and it'll feel ridiculous. To 99% of you watching, you'll go, that's not what it feels like to play. You can't play like that. Tell me I'm wrong. Sit there and do it. You can't play like that. Well, guess what? You're here because you're having problems. Turns out you can. We just need to make it work for you. And that's what the foundation level is all about, is getting you to realise it. Again, I could have put exercises in page 1. That's why most people don't make it to this stage. I don't mind. This is not a gimmick, right? It's a course. It's a course. I'm teaching you. If you had to come here and work from day 1 to the end of the ultimate level, you'll be a ripping player. You just need to understand it. And so what have I said the whole way along? It's the understanding and the feeling, the sensation and the psychology. And you'll hear when you listen, especially to part 2 of the Bob Reeves podcast in the next lesson, you will understand what I'm talking about. It's the way of reprogramming the brain, the whole coffee moment thing. You'll love it if you understand how neuroplasticity works. That's what you're doing here. It might sound complex. It's not as easy as just picking up the trumpet and playing exercise. That's what people want to do. Here's a mouthpiece, here's a trumpet, and if it works for you, great. But if it was working for you, you wouldn't be here. Okay? So it's up to you, but work through the foundation level. You're mad not to. And again, use your coupon code. It expires at the end of tomorrow. I think there's an extra day on it, leeway. But you're crazy to not give it a try, because once you start and work through it and realise what's going on, then get into the premium stuff straight away. You get book 1 plus you get the whole course. And you can use your coupon code now to get the premium level or the ultimate level. It's up to you. If you use your coupon code for the ultimate level, it's mad. You get both books and the whole course for, was it $30? Crazy. But that's too much for you. That's completely fine. Just do the foundation level. We're on the same page now. You've made a great start. If you've been working through the Largo Status stage, you've unlocked a lot of things already, or at least you're starting to reconfigure the mind. If there's anything that you're rejecting about the course, you don't understand or you don't like, tell me. There's a contact. Put it on the forum. This is what it's all about. It's a community of learning how to play. And we all want to Rockin Range with Resonance. You need to understand this stuff because you can end up, and I talk about it in the podcast, I'm sick of fighting my instrument. Sure, I was touring the world playing and hating every second of it. We want satisfaction and we want contentment. And that's what this course, WindWorks, will provide for you. So walk around. And we're also aware of the whole feeling of the body's concert hall. You need to see that video. I keep saying it. You need to see it. You need to understand it. You need to understand passive reduction. I'm not going to go on. You want to make a change to your playing, it's all here. That feels weird, Greg. I can't play like that. Not yet, you can't. You will be able to soon. And I'm going to show you how. And you will be rocking, you'll have range, and it will be resonant. See you tomorrow for the final day of your trial.